Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fifth segment of Talking with T. This is my podcast segment where myself, guests, and friends will discuss real topics about real life, the obstacles and challenges we face, and how we overcome them. We'll network, pursue our dreams, and continue to evolve as women. Come on in the room and talk with me, T. Hey guys, welcome to the Skybox. Come on in. So this is my home away from home. I just wanted to bring you guys to work with me and introduce you to my co-workers / family and let you see where all the magic happens. So this is Justin's area. Justin is he did that, and you'll meet him soon because we're gonna interview with Justin today. So you will meet him soon. And Justin's a phenomenal stylist and he actually does my hair. This is my working area. This is where my clients come and I take care of them. This is our shampoo area and of course our dryer. This is where the hair care happens. Come on over, let's take a peek at Mark Anthony's area. So this is the barbershop area. This is Mark Anthony's area. The creativity happens here and he's awesome at what he does. That's Marco's work. Today, I'm joined by my friend and brother, Mr. Justin Downs. He is a fellow hairstylist and also my coworker. April 30th is Stylist Appreciation Day, so we'll be discussing a topic, do you appreciate your stylist? We'll be discussing the industry through our eyes, the stylist eye. Before we can go into any topic though, as always, we'll have a word of prayer.
Father God, we want to come to you. First, we want to say thank you, Lord. We want to thank you, Lord, for watching over us last night as we slept in slumber, watching over our family members, Lord, and our friends. Lord, we want to ask you, Lord, to please, Lord, continue to give us many, many blessings that we cannot have room enough to receive. Lord, we want to ask you, Lord, to please bless this interview, Lord, bless this topic, bless our clients, Lord, to continue to bless us with their service. And these many blessings we ask in precious Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. So, many of my followers, my butterflies, they know that I am a stylist, but they don't know much about my background, I'm going to assume. So, as a guest, though, I would like for you to first introduce yourself to the butterflies and just tell them a little bit about your background as a stylist. What made you get into this industry? How long have you been here? And what makes you enjoy it most?
Okay. What's up, y'all? My name is Justin. I go by Mr. He Did That. A lot of my social media handles are Justin He Did That or He Did That. I am He Did That. I started my hair journey as long as I've been married. I've been married for 8 years. Me and my wife been together for over 12, but we've been married for 8. However, I was a teacher's assistant, and I worked for this company where I was a one-on-one aid to the teacher with children with special needs. And I loved that job. Everything was good, but everybody know, like, with anything, something comes to an end. So we would have that summer school break. Now, when you're one-on-one, you don't really get a summer school gig. So you're pretty much off in the summertime. And again, like I said, I've been doing hair since I've been married. And as a husband, I knew that, you got to be able to provide and do things. Mm-hmm. So I didn't finish college. I didn't have a degree to be a teacher or anything like that, whatever. But like I was still trying to find my way. And one day, my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, she was asking me, like, help her with her hair. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. She was like, I'm going to show you. And that's, and I need you to finish. She was doing wand curls. If y'all know what that is, the wand curls, whatever. So she showed me a couple of times on the side, because she did the side. She's like, you do the back. So I saw how she did it, and I was like, I can do it. So when I did it, it looked really pretty. So she was like, oh my God, you really did a good job. So later that night we went out, and a lot of people was like, oh my God, Liz, your hair look good, whatever. Like, who did your hair, whatever? So she was like, I did the front, and Justin did the back. So they was like, no, he didn't. Because everybody that know me know I'm a jokester. You know
right.
That. I like to play and joke and stuff. So they was like, no, Justin did your hair, like, he paid too much, whatever. So I was like, no, I really did. So through talking, whatever, I started to, like, have that moment where I was like, I don't know what I want to do. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, whatever. Like, I went to culinary school, and I did the culinary thing, and it was fun, but I still didn't have a passion for it. It was more so like a job, and it was just something to do, like to get money in my pocket. But I didn't have no love for it. So like, you know, if you don't have love for something, you find ways to not do. Like, so I would like call out just because I don't want to go to work or I want to hang out with my friends or something like that. And she was like, you need to find something that you love to do, whatever. Don't just do something because it's something to do it. Find something that you want to do, whatever. So she was like, get into something. So I was just like, I don't know. So I've always had a creative side of me. Like, I like to create and do things like whatever like that. And I just was like, I don't know. So I started doing research, sitting at home in the summertime. And I was like looking at something. I was like, well, let me see about hair, whatever. And then just like any other male, when you're dealing with hair, you feel like it's a girl's job. So I had my downfalls. I was like, well, I don't want people looking at me like, why he want to do hair, stuff like this, whatever. Like, is my friends going to like me or whatever, kiss me, be whatever. But then I just was like, remembered who I was and was like, who cares what somebody think, whatever. Do what you want to do. So I went and one day I just took a ride down to the Harvard of hair schools.
This is our ongoing debate.
The Harvard of hair schools, Paul Mitchell, Jessup. I took a ride down there and I did the walkthrough. They call it a walkthrough. We did a walkthrough and I saw the school and I was like, oh wow, this is awesome, whatever. It was predominantly white, but I was like, this is awesome, whatever. Like, and so I went home and started researching on Paul Mitchell, and his story was just awesome to me. And it was the thing that kicked off in my mind. It was like, this man, a male, and he's had several wives and several children, and he, had been with model women, whatever, like that. So it's just like, wow, like, he's a straight male, and he did great things. He had schools all over America and the UK. That's why he's the Harvard. And he has his own product line, own hot tool line, different things like that. Just it opened my eyes and said that I could be that. I could do that. So I enrolled in the school. And I started school, and I was in day school. And when I was in day school, like I said, my wife, she was a previous hairstylist, but she didn't like the hustle and bustle. You know how hustle and bustle, sometimes we have ups, sometimes we have downs. Yeah. And my wife was like, that don't work for her. So she went to corporate America. She was in school, she got her master's, and she was like, I'm going to corporate America. I don't work in corporate America. So she did that. But I went to hair school, and I was going there during the day. And when I was there during the day, school year started back again, and I still went to my regular job, but I was going to school at night. So now I was going to night school. And night school, if you are a cosmetologist at night school, you really don't get the feel for hair school. Like,
you do not.
You don't.
In my opinion.
And I agree.
You don't.
So we just really much was in class, and then we did a lot of mannequin work on each other. So summertime came back around again, because when you're in day school, when you're in night school, you actually go to hair school longer.
Okay. Right.
With Paul Mitchell anyway. So I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm like, I'm learning fast, because at home, Liz was still teaching me the styling side. Because again, I went to a school where they didn't really teach me style. So they really taught me like, hair care, the proper way to shampoo, how to greet your customers, how to be professional, the good things about doing hair, but they didn't really teach me. They taught me cutting, and they taught me coloring with stuff like this, whatever. But I tweaked hair school too, though, because I don't really like schools, but I tweaked hair school too, though. But anyway, so after the summertime had came, I decided, I said, you know what, I'm going to go to day school, because it was summertime again. I'm like, I ain't doing nothing during the day. I want to be out at night in the summertime, so I'm going to go to school during the day, and it's going to help me speed my process up. So I went to day school, and when I went to day school, it just was like awesome. Like, I went there, and it was like a different group of people. I was the only black male, and I could do some hair. Like, I can curl some hair. They used to always be like, oh, he curls so good. How do you have it? I can see the teacher cut something, and I can do it. Whereas though a lot of people were, I know how to pull hair out and stuff like that, whatever, but I'm just more so, like I said, I'm going to do it in a creative way. So I mastered hair school in that perspective, like just doing it, having fun and doing it, whatever. And finished with day school, got certified, started that, left there, and jumped right into a salon. My first salon was the House of Blush. But before I was a stylist, though, I was a stylist assistant at Georgia, New York, and Columbia. I was shampooing hair. So I would leave school, and I would go and be a shampoo assistant. And then the first salon I worked at was...
Did you learn a lot as a salon assistant?
I did. I learned a lot. And
that's
I learned
humble, because a lot of people feel like they are above being, starting as a salon assistant.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely agree with being a stylist assistant or salon assistant first, because how will you know how to like talk to your clients? How will you know? Because there's a total difference in hair school. Because in hair school, you're not really working the feed yourself. You really there and you basically getting tips. Or you're, you know what I'm saying? Right, yeah, you're getting tips and you're actually the money, they're not even paying a lot of money to the school. They're paying something, but you're not getting none of that money. You're getting your tips. So you're not really learning how to like continue to have relationships. But I did. Like I had relationships. I would take other people's clients. Like when they would come in, because like some girls was there at hair school because like their parents made them go to school. And they told them they had to do something, whatever. So like they didn't really care about learning or really taking it serious. So like they would be scared people would like if they came in with natural hair. Like, and I would be like, oh, I know how to do that. That's easy, whatever. Like, and I would blow dry them out, do that. So like I would gain relationships, and like from hair school, I took 4 clients with me that I met at hair school. I took them with me or whatever when I left there, and they started my stylist journey, whatever. But I love everything about it, and like I said, I've been doing hair now for 8 years now. June will be 9 for me for doing hair, and I'm just like. June will be 8 years. I'm sorry. Next year will be 9 years for me, but June will be 8 years for me actually being a stylist, a professional. Paul Mitchell, we call him a professional. You know, a hair professional.
A hair professional. And there's nothing you couldn't see at this point. There's nothing else you could see yourself doing.
Absolutely not. The only thing I am ready for now is I am ready for having my own brand. As far as like products and tools and things, I'm ready for that. But I could never see me stepping away from the chair no time soon.
We'll go into that. I just don't get that. So you are maybe the second stylist that I have heard say that. I just don't foresee it. I don't know if it's a different type of love or passion that we have for it, but I just don't see how people want to get away from the chair. But we'll go into that.
Yeah. I would say I got. We go ahead and get into that part.
Yeah, so, Butterflies, you all know me as your host of Talking with T. I'm Tiara. As a stylist, I have a natural ability to do hair. I've been doing hair since I was 12. It was something I dibbled and dabbled with. And then I lost my passion because I was told no so many times by my mom. She just didn't foresee it as a real career, just because, not because she didn't want me to chase my dream, but she just wanted me to go to college and do the corporate thing, become a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, those things. She wanted better for me than what, she had. And she wanted different opportunity. And also she had a friend who had a failed salon, so who was like a sister to her. So to her, doing hair was not a real career. So, several times throughout my life, I tried to go back and chase that dream, but it was always, that door was shut. And so, you move on and you just start another career. And that's what I did. I started working for a company, and you just become complacent. And I got comfortable with the money. As long as you paying me, I don't care. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go to work, and it's whatever. But I am now at this point 26 years old, and I'm with my husband, who was then my boyfriend at the time. And he was just like, I am so tired of hearing you complain about that job. Yeah. What are you going to do?
You wasn't happy.
To be happy, and what do you like to do?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I like to do hair. And he was like, you lying. Like, you would never mention no hair. You can't do a lick of hair. You go out of here and make me spend money on your hair every week. You make me pick you up from the salon every week. Like, you can't do no hair. And I'm like, no, I really do hair. Yeah. And he was so surprised by that. And he just, from that moment, he started hitting the ground running for my dream harder than me. Okay. And I'll always love and respect him for that. Absolutely. And so, at the time, there was only one school around that I knew of, and that school was absolutely not for me. I did a tour of the school, and I was like, God, no. And the person that I used to be, everybody knows that I would have been thrown out of the school within a month's time because, So,
it was a no for you.
It was a no for me. But nevertheless, one day my husband came busting in the house and he was all excited and he was just like, and this was maybe like 2 years after that conversation. He was like, babe, I found you a school. And I'm like, school for what? Because now it has left my mind. I got a promotion on my job and everything. And he was like, hair school. He's like, I was taking, my coworker locked himself out of his car and I took him to his wife's school and to get the spare key. And it's right out the road. And I'm like, there's no school out there. And he's like, yes, it is. So needless to say, he said, I already set you up an appointment. You go on Tuesday. No, rewind. I said, did you get me any information? He was like a pamphlet or anything. He was like, I already set you up an appointment for Tuesday. And he said, I got the book right here. And it was a book that stood up off the floor this high. He had took them people's book. And it was like a hardback book. I was like, oh my God, we got to return this. So he's like, yeah, you go on Tuesday. So I was like, okay. So I'm like, you sure it's right up the road? Because I never saw a school up there. So needless to say, I called my godbrother and contacted him because he's really seasoned in the hair business. He had sat on state board before and he had been an administrator. And I was like, hey, I need you to come with me to check out this school and everything. I really trust his judgment in the hair business. So he was like, okay, he come. And he was like, I never heard of a school. So when we got there, when we got to see about the school, I was just like, oh, this is all of that. Like, I really like it. And when we walked in, everybody was on the floor. They had on all black. Yep. And it was diverse. I just saw different, ethnicities and races. And I was like, oh, wow. And they both said to me, this is you. And I said, this is me. And I just saw who I wanted to become. Yeah. It was who I wanted to become, not only in the hair business, but as a female, as a woman. I knew where I wanted to evolve. And so, my husband was so excited. And he was like, I got to buy you some school supplies. Okay, we got to go school shopping. I just felt like a little girl. And I was excited. My dream was really becoming a reality. Yeah. So we did the tour and I signed up. And needless to say, I go in there to fill out the financial aid piece to see what happens. And I come out and my brother has the job. He gets hired as the teacher. He didn't even go for that reason, but he got hired as the teacher. And it was a good experience for us both. And he was the only teacher to ever fail me. And I was so upset with him that day that he failed me. But I will never forget the lesson in that. He told me, he said, in this business, you need to remain teachable. Yeah. Remain teachable. It's always changing. Yeah. Remain teachable. Yeah. And he said, I know you coming in here having experience and doing hair and worked in salon, but you need to forget everything you think you know and just learn. You paying for this education, just learn. And he also said, align yourself with the people that are good in the areas where you struggle. So at the time, my struggle was color. Okay. It was color. I just couldn't understand that color wheel. It just wouldn't click for me. Color correction was my struggle. So I aligned myself with some young girls. I was older than a lot of the girls. Like you said, some of them were there because they had to be, or they didn't know what else to do. They was trying to find their way, and I was there for the passion. Like I was enjoying myself, and I just align myself with some people that could show me things, and in turn I would show them things.
Right,
And
absolutely.
it really made things so much better because I walked away from the Yale of hair, Empire Beauty School, Glen Burnie. I walked away from the Yale of hair being very diverse. So, I learned to not just do black girl hair.
Yeah.
I learned, and now coloring is one of my strong suits.
Yeah.
It's one of my strong suits. And I just challenge any stylist out there to, if you struggle with something, to align yourself with other stylists that are good at things that you struggle with, and just help each other as opposed to competing with one another. So what really prompted me to want to have this conversation was that one day I was just scrolling on Facebook or whatever, and there was this thread, and these girls, they were just talking to women, and they were just talking, and I'm not saying that what they were saying was not valid, but they were really upset. Some stylists pissed them off, and they were saying that bring back the stylists that care for hair. Gone are the days of stylists that care for hair, and you got to show up shampooed now, braid it down, and you got to pay all this money, and no stylists care for your hair anymore. And they were just saying that stylists will charge you an arm and a leg for lateness or cancellation, and then they'll turn around and do the same thing. So who holds them responsible? And I definitely, because I am someone's client, I definitely understand as a consumer how they must feel. But I also wanted to shed light on the industry through our eyes, and maybe help clients understand what we feel like and how it got there.
Yeah.
So, back in the days when I was a kid, a teenager, and my aunt used to do hair, my aunt has a successful salon. My mom and them, when they went to get their hair done, they were more stand up. They were more respectful of someone's time. So you just really don't find that anymore with a lot of the ladies, the females. My older clients, they still do things like get their stylist Christmas gifts, and
and the coworkers,
and they still bring things to the salon. That stuff means so much. It just warms your heart and brightens your day, because a lot of times as a stylist we are dumped on. People just sit in your chair and just dump on you. They say the stylists are psychiatrists, and we don't have a degree in the first thing or the second, but we are a listening ear a lot of times. And so just to know that somebody remembers you, it means a whole lot. And a lot of times, back then, if you weren't going to be able to make it, then you would just call. They didn't waste stylists' time, have that person's book all filled up, because back then they were just penciling in. Or I remember being a salon assistant, and we had that black book, and you wrote Miss Robinson down for next Saturday. She was coming. And if she wasn't coming on next Saturday, you knew
before Wednesday,
at least by Tuesday, that she wasn't coming. So that allowed you to scratch her out, and that opened up your space for someone else. And a lot of times these girls, they don't do that anymore. It blocks up your time, and no one's paying us. We're paying ourselves. So that messes up your money. It blocks off your time, things like that. So that's where the deposits and stuff came from, So while I agree with some of the things that the ladies were saying, I think that they don't get it from our perspective. So this entire interview, we will talk about things from our perspective. All right?
Got it.
Let's get it. Let's go. So I just want to ask you first, how did the pandemic affect your business?
Well, the pandemic definitely hit my business hard. Again, I work on a client basis, whatever. But it also made me stronger in the hair industry. I will say, like, it definitely broke my business, but it also made me strong in my business because it made me have that lion mentality about it, about just about life. Like, so now it's like, you know, what do you do if you don't have a client? Because for so long, being a new stylist, I came in and I like to share this with people that's up and coming and stuff like that, because I came into the salon looking for an overnight success. Like, oh, I'm gonna get in here, and because I know my ability, I should have a client book of 15 people a week. Boom, boom, boom. I should be doing. That's what I came in understanding. But then, like, I had mentors and stuff like that who really told me, like, you know, it takes time to build that type of clientele. It takes time, and it's not an overnight success. Like, if you're in it for the right reasons and you're doing a great job, it's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? But you also have to put in the work to get to that point. So the pandemic pretty much humbled me in a way, because it made me feel like, what do you do if you don't have a client? You get what I'm saying? Because are you gonna sit around and wait for a client and not have money, or be down behind bills? So what do you have to do? And like I said, I owe a lot of my success, let me just start there, to my wife. My wife is not only a number one cheerleader, number one top fan, whatever you want to call it, she's everything, and I owe everything to her. Because when I tell you, she rides for me when I'm at my lowest moment in the hair industry, when I have had times where I'm like, well, maybe this is just not working for me, whatever. She has been that push, still saying, hey, I need you, though, to still be that provider for me, but I'm not going to let you give up on something that you love. I'm going to help with the solution. My wife is always someone that can say, hey, this might not be working, but what's the solution to get it to work?
She's always got ideas.
She's so awesome.
Ideas.
She's awesome.
Hey, I was thinking you just need to do
I
this.
tell her she's my Kris Jenner to my Kardashian.
Okay.
She's my Kris Jenner. So what she did was, over the pandemic, she was like, look, you can't see them, but introduce your clients to wigs. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get some wigs, and you can customize wigs. You can do little things, whatever. So, like, a lot of people that follow me know that during the pandemic, I would be dropping wigs, like customizing wigs and dropping them every other day, because I was like, I need people to buy these wigs, and I would ship them off to them, they can come pick them up and different things like that. So I became getting really in tune with the wig services, because at the same time of the pandemic, that's when the wig wave was coming through anyway. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people was stop getting the weaves. They wanted to be able to change their hair like the celebrities. They wanted to have different hairstyles.
Because they couldn't go to the salon.
Right.
You had to be able to do something.
Right. So it jumped me into that. Then it also made me think about just like other ideas. Like, I would do raffles. I would do little things like that. And then when the pandemic slowed down and things opened back up, like, the clients that was coming to me came right back like it was clockwork. And then I also got new clients, because also during the pandemic, it taught me to, since you can't really show your work, show your followers and things your personality. Because a lot of people don't understand, like, some people book based off your talent, but they also want to book a personality. They want to book an experience. So a lot of people come to me, when they do come to me, like, I had one girl came to me, and it was her first time came, and when she saw me, she was like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I really get to meet you. Well, and I'm just like, I'm Justin. How you doing? Whatever. I don't think you was here that day, but Yolanda was here that day. And she was just like, oh, I know you so bad up. You thought you was a celebrity, but she really came in and was like, it's so good to see you. Give me a hug. And I'm like, I'm just Justin. Like, what's up? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, you know, I fanned out one time.
Right. So, like, it made me feel good, because it's like, dang, people really follow me because they want the experience, and they want to really meet me, because I follow people and I'm starstruck by a certain stylist. Like, I feel like, oh my God, like, that's that person. Like, I see people like stylists in like the grocery store, especially local Baltimore stylists, and I see them, I'm just like starstruck. But I'm like, dang, somebody feels that way about me, whatever. Humbly though, you know. So I don't look at it like, oh yeah, I'm him. I don't think that, whatever. Like, I still, like, a lot of people tell me all the time, like, you a beast, you do a good work, whatever. But I still feel like I have so much more to grow in the industry, whatever. And that's another reason why I don't feel like I'm done yet, because I don't feel like I really has hit my best potential in the hair industry.
Got you.
But that's what the pandemic did to me, though. It gave me that lion mentality.
As for me, the pandemic, it pushed me. It pushed me to come out of my comfort zone and stop doing the things that I was just comfortable with. It pushed me to go ahead. It gave me time to, I got really sick during pandemic with Corona, and just being home, I said, well, it's time to rebrand.
Yeah.
And I went from creativity, hair designs, to the creative brand, and I branded myself. And for my birthday, I branded myself and gifted myself a brand. I did try to. I love makeup. I tried to do the cosmetic thing just to see where it would go, and it was cool, but it's not really my heart. My heart, I mean, I do makeup as a part of my services, yes, but I really don't want to carry makeup right now. I'm into hair and hair care.
Yeah.
So, I started with those products first. So that's what I did. I really got into my brand and just how to really better care for hair. I'm really into hair care. So that's when you see me messing with stuff around here.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff came from just being constricted to the bed and not losing my mind. I started researching a lot of stuff. So that's where that came from. So once it was time for outside to open a little, we the skybox opened up and I transitioned locations. So now I'm in a still in the same town, still in Baltimore, but I'm in a completely different location. And sometimes all of your clients don't always follow you sometimes. Yeah. Well, at least those didn't, because
it was out of their comfort zone.
It's out of their comfort zone. Yeah. It's out of their comfort zone. And when you come into downtown, it's more upscale than where I was. It's a different area.
Different vibe.
And it's definitely a vibe at our salon. It's a vibe. Bro, one thing he preaches, provide an experience.
Yep.
And I started providing an experience. We provide an experience.
Yes.
And so with that, yesterday's price was not today's price. And so it pushed me out of my comfort zone.
That's our slogan around here.
Charging,
what you're worth.
I had to learn to charge my worth. And so I had to also take classes and stuff to begin to match that worth. Though what I'm saying I'm worth, I gotta know that I can do this. And so when I met you, I was like, okay, it's another stylist coming here that I can learn from straight off the bat. Because I told you straight up and down, I'm gonna be looking, I'm gonna be learning, because I'm the type of stylist that I'm humble. You can never stop learning.
No, pause though. I remember that day I started here because I had worked with Marco before at 2 different salons, and then I was at another salon, and then that's another thing too. Like sometimes you have to work in your environment, and you have to work in an environment that is suitable for you and something that you like. And I was working somewhere where I just wasn't a fit in the salon. Nothing personal. The people there was nice and everything like that, but I just wasn't a fit for that type of salon. And then like my clientele is, very diverse. You know what I'm saying? I really don't have different ethnicities, but I do have clientels from different backgrounds. So, I'm not really the stylist to, have, and this is no offense, me being raw, like to have like the trap music and stuff playing or whatever. Like a lot of my clients are not that girl. You know what I'm saying? So, it just wasn't a fit for me and my clients. I started to see things where as though I'm not happy, and it started affecting my business where as though a lot of clients were starting to slow up with the booking, and I was like, what's going on, whatever. And when I would talk to them, it was like, it's just kind of rough where, we come in, they don't feel comfortable, and it's just not the vibe. And it's like, now that I'm here, my clients love coming here. They feel comfortable. If I'm not here, they feel comfortable to come in. If Tierra's usually always here. So when she opens the door, she's the first one that my clients see sometimes before I get here, because I live far. I be late a little bit. Forgive me. But yeah, she usually greets my clients with me, and they love it. And and I love that experience, whatever. But I remember when I first got here, I came in and I didn't see Tierra yet. You wasn't at work that the day that I actually moved in. But when I came back to work, she was here. And I remember coming in, she introduced herself, she was really nice, but I could tell she was feeling, and she even said it was like, she was like, because I don't really like, I like vibes and energy. And she was like, I don't mind working with people, but it has to be the right vibe. So, at the time when I came in, like the vibe had to be right. Because if you came in our salon, you see that we work really close together. So the vibe had to be, a good vibe, whatever. But like I said, she's awesome. From there, we was able to, gain a really good, healthy work relationship. Like I said, she's not only my friend, my sister, or my client of mine. We really work good together, and we take it, like I said, if I have to be checked about certain things, we able to have that and, still move forward and work together with each other.
Yeah. So, in meeting Justin, my brother, he's like, my god brother, he's like, yeah, so I'm getting another stylist. He's coming. You've seen him before when you've come around me at my other salons. It's Justin. And I'm like, I don't see him. He's like, the one who got a wife. I'm like, oh, yeah, I seen him. Yeah, he can do hair. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah. I said, listen. The first thing I just need to know, is it going to be drama? Because one thing that I asked him for was, I didn't want another female. Butterflies, y'all know how I am. If y'all been following me, y'all know how I was with females. I've been delivered. Okay? I just didn't. I was like, it's not going to work. But he was like, no, it's Justin. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fine. I think y'all going to vibe together. So, if I don't know you the way that I am, I'm going to be quiet and I got to check you out. So, I had already seen Justin do hair before at the other salon. So I already knew you knew how to do hair. So, I just was checking out how you was with your clients. And y'all seemed to be really connected. Y'all was having a really good time, And then I saw you do a silk press and my hair was looking crazy that day. I didn't feel like fighting with it. I used to do my hair all the time, but at that point, it was just like, somebody can take me. I had just got to the point where I stopped liking to do my own hair. And it just felt good to know that I'm looking at somebody that will do my hair the way that I like. I can sit here and don't have to worry about it. And I said to you, like, oh, you got next, please. And then you was just like, oh, all right, I got you. So that was that. So now we have developed a working relationship, friendship. Like, I can call Justin beyond just salon. Yeah. Like, we could talk about anything. And Justin is another one of my brothers now. And just like any of my other little brothers, sometimes he got to get it. Sometimes I got to get it. It is what it is. But one thing that I definitely enjoy is the fact that we come right back. Like, there's no animosity.
No other added parties.
None
it's
of that.
Between us.
And
sometimes y'all won't even know.
Yeah. And we just keep it moving, keep it pushing. Yeah. And because when you work in a salon, sometimes there's so much cattiness.
Yeah.
I've managed a salon with 13 women. And oh my God.
Yeah. And we don't allow it from the staff or the clients. Like, our clients respect each other. The stylists respect us. We respect each other's clients, and each other clients respect the other stylists. You
have to.
Yeah,
it's got to.
You understand what we mean by respect, and I guess some of the other questions.
And I think that for us three, this is our home away from home, and this is our passion.
Yeah.
So being here and being passionate about what you do, and when you love what you do, we really literally creating, and so. Yeah. You have to be in your space, in your zone to create. Yeah. And it's crazy because we dancing while we working and everything like that. So I can come here and be in a way, but when I hit that top step, it leaves. It leaves until I leave and go back to
whatever it is.
Yeah, reality, Yep. So let's talk about products and product cost because I had a client ask me, it was so weird because I had never had a client ask me before, because she take pictures of the products that I'm using. And I was like, no, you may not. And I'm not that stylist that's selfish with information. And here's why. I will share with you what I know. And some of my stylist friends, they debate that because they like, girl, that's going to keep your chair empty because they're going to just go home and do it themselves. A, they're not trained professionals, so they can't do it like you. And B, I share what I know in a way that so that they can carry on. It's home hair care.
Yeah.
You know, it's a prescription. I'm gonna give you your prescription so you can go home and continue what we began in the salon.
Yep.
I don't believe in starting the same processes over and over and over again. So if we started to care for your hair today, I need to give you a regimen to go home and complete. You need to do your part, and I'm gonna do my part when you come and see me. So, you know, I will share with you certain things that you can purchase from the store or on Amazon or whatever. But to want to come and take pictures of what I'm using, you either gonna sit in my chair and trust my professional recommendation, or you're gonna go and back down the steps and hit the white button and see yourself out the door. Yeah. That's just that.
And see, I've actually had a client who, like I said, and I have no problem with educating my clients about the stuff that I use, anything. Like, clients ask me questions all the time, like, oh, so what are you using and stuff like this, whatever. And I educate you on definitely what's best for your hair, but I also let you know, like, you know, this is professional use, or you're not even gonna be able to go to they don't even sell it to the stores where you can go get it from, and different things like that. And like, you know, like for the lace adhesive that I use and stuff like that, like I spend a lot of money on professional products, whatever, and you know, I have no problem expressing that to you, whatever. But a lot of my clients also know, and I tell them, I can tell you what I use, but do you know how to properly use it? You get what I'm saying? Then I have clients who I do only see once a month, or if they come get an installment, they know how to like shampoo their hair. They have a set at home dryer where they'll do that, whatever. Because a lot of my clientele come from DC or Falls, Virginia. You know, we didn't heard clients come in and say, well, I didn't roll all the way from Philly, or I didn't roll from Virginia. So a lot of times they're not coming back and forth as much. So I will tell them, like you said, prescriptions and stuff. But what I feel like, hair care. But what I feel like is really rude and feel like it was really disturbing is I had a moment, not at this salon. This was when I was on at another the previous salon before I got here. I had a client ask me about the lace stuff that I was using, and she was like, "I never seen that before, whatever." And I was like, "Cause I took the labeling off." It's like, "Oh, where you get this from? What's this, whatever, like that." And I was like, "Oh, you know, this is the lace adhesive I use, whatever, like, haha, it's holding you down. You like it, right?" And so she was like, "Yeah, whatever, like that." So I didn't know that it was a labeling at the bottom of the thing. So I went to go do something, came back, and baby girl had my thing up, like, taking pictures. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "Oh, you got the label at the bottom of the thing." I'm like, "Dang, I didn't even know that. So how did you know?" So that means you really picked it up and was like really like looking and or whatever. And it just weirded me out though. I'm like, you know, I just feel like have respect for my stuff. You get what I'm saying? My space, whatever. And it's not that I don't want you to know, but you're trying to take it and you don't even know how to use it.
But you also have to have, the biggest thing is be trusting of that stylist. Yeah. Maybe if you're going to a stylist for the first time, read their reviews. Yeah. Or if you are getting referred from a friend, ask about the pros and the cons of going to this person. Do your research then, so that you can feel some level of comfort before sitting in their chair, because if not, you know, then you just create an uncomfortable environment.
But this was the thing though, sis. She used it, she took the picture and she must have went and used it. She's like, you know, I'm going out of town and I just want to know what I'm going to be able to do. I'm going to be out of town, be at the water, whatever. First of all, I tell my clients all the time, if you are that water girl and you're going to an island, you're going to Miami, and you plan on being in the water, you're that water girl, the wig is the best suggestion for you. And I'm talking about being able to wear it glueless, being able to take it on and off. And I educate them on that. There's no need to come in and get a wig glued down, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to lift. You get what I'm saying? You want it to be in the water. Now, mind you, I now use water resistant products and stuff like that, whatever they do that. But again, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't even know how to upkeep it. Like, you don't know to, like, oh, if I'm going to get in the water, to wear my head wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that you have to wrap all your hair, but I had to make sure, you know, the hair ties down for the front part. That way when the water hit it, even if water does get to it, once I'm air drying, that's holding it down so you're going to dry. Or you get to your hotel room, you can dry it real quick and it'll stay down. But she didn't know that to do that. She went out and purchased the lace adhesive or whatever.
And made a mess.
And she went down there and she did it. She had clogs of glue coming through the lace, and she was like, I ruined this closure. Glue seeped through the thing because you didn't know to let it dry. It has to be clear before you put your lace back down. But you thought that you knew what you were doing because you just see me add the lace. But you don't know what I'm doing behind your head. You just know that I'm using this lace thing on you, tying you down, and you getting up, and you like, oh, I'm down. So you thinking that, oh, all I gotta do is dab, and put that closure. No, it's steps and methods that you have to take to do
because
what
you're
I do.
The professional.
Exactly. So she ruined. Long story short, she ruined her closure. Had to purchase another one because I was like, this is ruined. Even when I wash this is a lace. When I'm combing that glue out, it's gonna bald.
Yeah.
Your lace, and it did.
Make a hole.
And it did. It balled it. It made it bald, and she had a middle part one. So
$6.95.
$6.95.
Oh my God.
$6.95 it was given. I'm talking about the peace sign. That middle part had opened. So, and it was just something as easy as just saying, Justin, what can I do to keep my, down whatever, but.
Yeah. So yeah, as for me, I usually, there are things that I use in the salon that are specifically professional, especially, you know me, Justin, my shampoos and conditioners are the holy grail to me. They mean the most. I spend a lot of money on my shampoos and conditioners.
She does. And she know what they used.
I don't mark them. I eyeball them. I use a lot of money on those, especially the deep conditioners and my treatments and stuff. Those hair care things. So, if it's things that you need to do before you come back to see me in 6 weeks for your treatment, because I just got some clients that just come for treatments only. They get protective styles or whatever they may do. But I will tell them, okay, these are my favorite over-the-counter things that you can go in the store and get. I'm not stingy with information. So it's a difference between professional products and over-the-counter stuff that you can get.
Yeah.
But don't, be in there taking pictures and stuff like that. Or go out and spend all the money because we get a discount.
Yeah.
Do you feel that each client should tip following services, and are you offended if they don't?
I'm absolutely not offended because, like I said, I'm paid very well for the work that I do. I'm not offended they tip. Majority of my clientele, especially my faithful clients, will tip, will pay extra. And they'll be like, here, this is a little bit more, like, especially like around my birthday time, things like that. They be like, oh, this, I'm going to add a little bit more to it because it's your birthday. But I'm definitely not offended. And like I said, I don't feel like it's a requirement because, like I said, I charge, I'm paid I'm charged my worth, so I'm paid very well for what I do. So tipping, it's extra and it's appreciated for those who do it. But if you don't, I don't feel no type of way or anything like that. I don't look no type of way. However, though, clients that do tip in a way get VIP services. And what I mean by VIP service, meaning though, you can book with me and, if I'm in that mood, I'll be like, just give me this today. Okay. Because I know, like,
so you appreciate them.
I appreciate you. So I showed them, like, this time, hey, I'm gonna do this for you, or
the appreciation goes both ways.
Or if they're late or they gotta reschedule, it's really like, oh, you don't have to worry about the rescheduling fee, or you don't have to worry about the cancellation fee. You good because I know that they take good care of me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you get that, but like, not saying that I treat people that don't tip differently, but it's just like, no, this. You're gonna, pay for your services, and I thank you, and I, hope to see you again. Yeah.
Understood. Yeah. It's like one hand washes the other hand.
Yeah.
Understood. As for me, it's not a requirement. You don't have to tip. All you have to do is pay for the amount of your service. If I do a really good job and you are really pleased with your service, then I would appreciate a tip. You know, it's just, you know, we're service workers. And just like when you go out to dinner, if your server did a really good job, then you leave that tip, you know. If they didn't do so well, then if they didn't do good and you're not pleased at all, then they get no tip. You know, so for me, tips kind of let me see how you really feel. So that's it for me. It lets me know that you really was pleased with your hair or not.
And to piggyback on what you said earlier about your seasonal, not seasonal clients, like your more of the older generation clients or whatever. My ones that's older and like know that back in the day type thing, you know, you took care of your stylists, like you tip. So all of them, like all
it's
my
customary
old,
for them.
They come up with a tip. They text you before they come. You need breakfast. You want a cup of coffee. You need something. You know what I'm saying? And like, so those clients always tip. And sometimes I be like, oh, thank you so much. You know, like I be saying, you know, it's a really, really, really appreciated. Like, it's not. I don't want to downplay it. Like, I don't care about a tip, but I'm just saying, like, it's not a requirement. You say it's not a requirement.
Yeah, I'm not ever offended if a client. Because that's their money, you know, as long as you pay me for my service, you know, but it's definitely appreciated. And, you know, but it just, for me, it kind of, in my head, is like a little scale, like, oh, she must have really liked it, or just she was satisfied, or not so much, you know, and the goal is to always make sure my clients leave here, you know, satisfied. You know, have you ever been faced with a dispute or a chargeback, and, like, how did you handle it?
I've never had a dispute. Like I've never had nobody try to like dispute a service or a charge or something like that. Whatever. I never had that. I have had the booking site that I use double charge somebody or maybe charge somebody and they paid in cash and it's like, oh, they charged my card. How do you do that? I always remain professional. I screenshot things. I screenshot the process of me refunding them their money and things like that. I have had a client who, you know, was a little impatient and they had already like prepaid, but I did like most of the work. And, you know, they were just being impatient because it was you know, they didn't do their part. So it, you know, kind of made them have to, you know, sit around a little bit and wait until I'm able to service you, and couldn't. So the young lady, you know, wanted to leave and she wanted half her money back, but I'd already started the process. And, you know, I just explained to her that wasn't going to happen because I did my part. You didn't do your part. And, you know, just remain professional with her and explain to her that
I was here that day and you remain very professional.
Always.
You remain very professional.
Always.
Through that situation because it was a try. Yeah. It was a try. It definitely was a try. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never dealt with a dispute of any sort. Knock on wood. Pray to God that I won't.
Please don't answer.
I never had any disputes or anything, but same with you. Our little booking site was trying it and double charged someone. And the way that I dealt with it was the same thing. Screenshot. Just kept that line of communication open with the client. She had tipped me via Cash App very well, but then they had took a tip from her without asking her. And so what I did was I just sent the tip that she sent me on Cash App. I sent it back to her, and she was like, "That wasn't even necessary, but you don't need to tip me twice. It's okay." And she was very appreciative. I'm not trying to get over on anybody. You know, I would rather you come more times. I gain more money and more, you know.
If you're a returning customer,
returning client.
Returning client,
versus trying to beat you. You know, I won't get anything out of that. $20, you know. No.
It's not necessary.
It's unnecessary. So, you know, just keeping that line of communication open with them, and you know, you gain a level of respect. You know,
absolutely.
My integrity. I ain't trying to beat nobody. You know. So yeah, I haven't had to deal with that. Just that one little situation.